Yes. Well, a big welcome to you out there. Thank you so very much for joining us. It's Just Business and it's live here on the studios of Lagos Television. Today, we'll be looking at the issue of Agric Entrepreneurship. Apparently, there are so many reports to talk about, so many things to give an account of from what we have here as news perspective. We have it that the Ministry of Mines and Power, so to say, Ministry of Mines and Steel Development, has just sent in a report saying that they need $652 million to reactivate Ajaokuta steel equipment and machines, so says the report. And of course, we also have another report that 3,000 containers are trapped in Apapa over truck drivers' protest. And not leaving that, we have another report that says that Nigeria's trade grew to 7.2 trillion naira in the first quarter, quoting the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics. And we also have here that federal government states earned 30 billion naira from VADs in 11 months, quoting the chairman of FIRS, that is Mr. Babatunde Fowler. But we'll not go into all of these news report for today. Let me quickly take this again. The power sector loses 201.3 billion naira in 6 months, according to another report. And the African Development Bank and a number of partners are looking at how they can plan about 9 million new jobs to really get the Nigerian graduates engaged with employment. All of this we'll be looking at later. But then let's look at the issue for today, which is what we want to talk about, Agric Entrepreneurship. We'll be looking at this when we come back. And I want to thank you for staying with us. Welcome. We'll be right back.
Briefing the governor, Commissioner for Works Engineer Ade Akisoya and site engineer of the contractor on the Igbogbo Bola Tinubu Igbe Road gave the scope of work.
The road itself is about 6.6. No, the road itself. But because you are doing adjoining road to do that, so it gives you about 7.2. Then where we turn towards the Jede, that's where you have the dump site.
The first phase of the project, spanning 7.2 kilometers, will have lay-bys and pedestrian bridges due to the large population of schools in the area with 11 state-owned public facilities. The governor addresses resident Ucheziman due to his numerous positive impacts, but asks that the road project be expedited.
Down to all these roads, they should do it fast. Lagos is moving, and we'll keep moving.
At the 32 tons ongoing Imota rice mill, Commissioner for Agriculture Toyin Suarao says the mill will create 250,000 direct and indirect employment. The governor explains Lagos should start producing lake rice itself by the first quarter of 2019. He speaks on the Imota Industrial Light Park.
This Imota Light Industrial Park is supposed to replace the Sabo Light Industrial Park that we're closing down, and also turn part of that closed down Sabo Industrial Park to our tech hub for us to be able to integrate the new acquisition of land that we have in Sabo, to turn that axis to the new tech hub for our younger ones, so that we can use that area as our own new Silicon Valley.
The governor says once the state asphalt plant resumes production, more roads will be undertaken by the Public Works Corporation. Governor Kyomi Ambodi arrives into the waiting hands of ecstatic residents, including school children, along the Agric Ishawu Road. Currently, contractors on site are relocating electrical installations and right-of-way. Here, the commissioner explains the overall project spans about 13 kilometers or 4 lanes and will be fitted with relevant amenities. Addressing the crowd, the governor hands down a completion date and how the projects in Ikorodu, Badagry and Ekpe will connect Lagos with the boundaries of adjoining states.
From Owutu Junction to the boundary of Lagos State in Ishawu here is 7.5 kilometers. We will finish between March and April next year. We have also agreed, in order for us to improve on the economic integration of southwestern states, we will extend from Lagos State boundary to Arepo in Ogun State, and we will do 5.5 kilometers to join the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway.
He further sues for patience and understanding from residents while the construction lasts. Ongoing construction works across the state is an attestation that this administration places premium on the comfort of its citizens, which will in turn boost its economy positively.
Well, if you ask me, another grand successful story there, giving an account of a stewardship and service delivery on the part of His Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, on that inspection tour of infrastructure development to key into the economic integration of the southwestern state on one side, and of course the rice mill on the other side to boost employment and of course increase agricultural patronage, as it were. And that is why we'll be leaving that to key into the subject matter of Agric Entrepreneurship. Welcome, as I want to introduce my guest this afternoon. He's a young man that believes in agricultural entrepreneurship and has been doing so much to tap into the value chain of agriculture and to make agriculture what youth will be attracted to, and of course even give them the opportunity to be self-reliant and of course be entrepreneurs in their own right. My guest today is a younger, vibrant farmer. He calls himself a farmer Badairo, Abdulazeez. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
I can hear you speak to me.
Yeah.
Well, how are you today?
I'm fine, sir.
Now, what is it like when you say you are a farmer? Let's start from there. What is the beauty, the pride in saying with pride that I am a farmer?
Yeah. We have the old farmers and we have the modern farmer. I happen to be a modern farmer, which is a pride because we make use of technology in agricultural processes.
Which is what we don't do before, which is what is new now that you are doing.
Yeah.
Now, when you say you are proud because you are a modern farmer and using the technology, how will you be able to explain that, and what mark have you made in making Agric attractable to the young entrepreneurs that we are told that you have been engaging to believe in Agric part of direction at the Agric sector to make a living?
Yeah. Agriculture, the entrepreneurship aspect of agriculture, which was what we don't have in the agricultural practices before now, which make it more lucrative if any youth should go into agriculture.
Lucrative.
Yeah.
How do you mean when you say lucrative? Lucrative in terms of what it will come up with, or lucrative in what sense?
I will start if you are going into primary production of agricultural processes. Before you start planting, you tend to do some kind of tests like soil tests, water tests, the temperature of the environment before you prepare your soil. Then
that is for someone who is not an expert or who is not already doing that kind of business, who is a newcomer in the business.
Yeah.
So he or she will need to understand all of these technicalities that you're talking about that must be done before you engage yourself into it. Is that what you're saying here?
Yes, sir.
No, okay. We're looking at which other aspect of the value chain that you are particularly particular about.
Okay. Agricultural business is very wide. It's not a must that everybody will go into the primary production, which is the farming. We have other viable and lucrative part of agriculture,
which is
as an entrepreneur, there are a lot of opportunities in the agribusiness. In the distribution, we have opportunities, and there are other aids. Entrepreneur can come up in form of solution to enhance agribusiness.
I don't get that. I want to get that. What other aids will that be? Say I choose to want to go into agric business. I love agric too, but I am a novice in that sector of the economy. But if I have to, what are you trying to tell me?
It's just for you to undergo some little training, maybe self-training, or you go through some online platform to learn a little bit. Then from there you can come up with solutions that will enhance agricultural practices.
What kind of solution are we looking at? Okay, let's give a good, a practical example. Here is what?
Okay. I will say solutions like, let's assume an entrepreneur that is IT savvy or a programmer that wants to say, okay, I want to go into agriculture. It's not a must for he or she to say, okay, I need to go into a practical farm. Like, you can come up with apps that can solve agricultural problems. Like, okay, coming up with application that can diagnose farm.
Don't we have that already in place? I believe we have that already in place.
We have some, but it's not that common in Nigeria yet.
But you are already engaged with that.
Yes.
You do that.
Yes.
And you expose people to that.
Yes.
And it's working very well in this situation of promoting agric entrepreneurship,
Yes,
as
sir.
it were.
Yes.
Okay, in all of this, is it to say that if I so choose a particular aspect of the business, is it farming? Is it piggery? Is it other sector of the value chain? Maybe maize production that could give me some cutting edge in the entire value chain business. Which one would you say, I mean, would you advise me to do? And which one do you think will pay me based on the modernized farming that we said you are now being a new farmer? You said that, I didn't.
Yeah.
And I think it's something good to be a farmer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's say, for example, you want to go into maize production. For of us, you need to get the right seed, because one of the major problems which our old farmers do face was they didn't take into consideration the kind of seed that they were using. Some of them, they use seed that they inherited from their forefathers, which is like bringing diseases from...
Hey, no, Abdulazeez, I'm not getting you here, I'm lost. But our forefathers we lived on Agric many years back.
Yeah.
Before oil came, Agric was the business. Agric gave us everything we had. The first TV station was made with cocoa's money, and infrastructure was made with cocoa's money. Why are you trying? I want to get what you're trying to say. I'm just confused.
Yeah.
That,
you know, every plant has its own potential. Well, it's just for you to optimize and maximize the potential of that genetic.
Okay, now you are coming somewhere. Optimize or maximize.
Yeah.
That is, it means to say that yesteryears we were not optimizing or maximizing the potentials of such seeds. Like what are we looking at?
Let's say, for example, you know, we have certified companies that are into seed production.
Okay.
So when you get certified seed, the company will tell you the potential of their own seed and what will be the yield from the production. So the first day you plant, you plant a seed, that day you need to be doing monitoring, giving all it takes for that crop to bring its potential.
Without any artificial support like fertilizers?
No.
And that will work. Okay, let's look at our cocoa, for example.
Yeah.
What would you say? What would you tell me as a potential, or are the potentials of cocoa if I want to engage in that?
Just like I said, every seed has its own potential. If it's not, you know, it has to start with your soil. You need to give nutrient to your soil.
That's right.
So if adequate nutrient is given to your soil, and
it will enhance the growth.
Necessary microorganism present in your soil, so that will give the eating potential in that seed without genetic manipulation.
And that will make the difference in what we are saying here.
Yes, sir.
Well, modernization is what we are all talking about anyway.
Yes,
And leaving the old ways to go into new ways of doing things and using technology to drive it. So what are the chances of technology now driving this thing successfully? And for entrepreneurs to say that if I engage with this, I will make my money. What are the chances of technology in driving this today if we are talking about modernization of the farming sector?
The chances of using technology for agriculture is very high, in the sense that before you go into production, you can calculate and project what will be your crop yield at the end of the production.
And that gives you an estimate. If I want to make 1 billion, you can say that. But what about unforeseen circumstances, factors that could,
actually,
if I estimated I must have 1 billion from this yield, but natural disaster, natural factors could come in. Couldn't it affect? I mean, what do you think? I'm just trying to imagine that you were thinking one way, but anything could happen.
Yeah, yesteryears, our old farmers, they don't always involve in insurance. That's
insurance business.
Yeah.
To come into that.
Yeah, that's why we have a lot of institutions today coming up with insurance package for agribusiness.
And that has been working well.
Yes, sir.
Well, I think I must let you go, sir. I haven't been able to understand some of how this modern technology can help drive entrepreneurship in Agric Entrepreneurship. Am I speaking some sense here?
Yes, sir.
And you are giving me assurances and telling viewers there that there is hope if we can engage in that.
Yes, sir.
What will be your parting words?
I will advise the majority of our youth working or doing nothing on the streets to come up with some solutions and take up opportunities in agribusiness.
And it will be better for them.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abdulazeez Badairo. It's nice having you on the program.
Thank you, sir.
I want to thank you, our viewers out there. That's just what we have for today, and God willing, we'll be back again tomorrow at the same time. It's Just Business, live here in the studios of Lagos Television. Good afternoon.